This video is going to demonstrate how to do questions where you're asked to differentiate, find the derivative of functions that have a product of two functions, and one of the functions is a function within a function. So a product rule with a chain rule inside. This comes from the worksheet exercise 8.5, and the question that I'm going to do is 3C. So I've rewritten 3C here. And the first thing that I've done is on the question it didn't have the y equals, but I don't really know how we're going to do it without the y equals. So I've put a y equals on the front so I can keep my explanation or my terminology correct. And I'm going to try really hard to remember that the variable in this particular function is not x as it usually is, but in fact m. So, because it is a product rule, the first thing that we need to do is we need to identify the two functions that are being multiplied. That's what a product means. And those two functions I'm going to identify as u and v. So u is this one, and v is this one, also including the power. And just to make my life a little bit easier, we can do it without this, but in your early stages of your differentiation career, I think it might be easier for us to say that that first function is 6m minus 36. All I've done is I've multiplied that in. So let's let's write out each of those parts and then differentiate where we can. So u is 6m minus 36, and v is 4m plus 3 to the power of 8. Then du, normally du dx, but in this case du dm, the derivative of a function called u that has m's in it, is 6. And dv dm is where we have to diverge, because dv dm is the derivative of a function, and therefore requires the chain rule. So I'm going to take a little walk over to here, where I'm going to start the chain rule to find the derivative of this function. So in order to do the chain rule, I need to identify the inside function, and in this case it's 4m plus 3, and give it another variable. I'm going to use w today, and I'm going to do all the chain rule in a different colour pen so that you can see that it's sort of where we've diverted from the path of the question. So, identifying my parts, I've got v is equal to w to the 8, where w is equal to 4m plus 3. So now I've got dv dw, a function called v that has w in it, is 8w to the 7. Oops, there we go, 8w to the 7. And dw dm is, the derivative of w that has m in it, is just 4. Now the chain rule says it's not dy, it's dv dw, I'll stop thinking there for a second, is going to be dv dm, I wrote m and I said w. So dv dw times dw dm. Now these two have to match, and these two have to match these two, dv and dw, dv and dm, dv and dm, dm, dv and dm. Dearie me. Okay, dv dw 8w to the 7 times dw dm is 4. 8 times 4 is 32, w to the 7, and then put w, whatever w was, 4m plus 3 back in. So now we have dv dm is 32, 4m plus 3 to the 7. We can go back to the black pen, because now we can continue on with the product rule. And the product rule says dy dm is equal to v times du dm plus u times dv dm. V is this, 4m plus 3 to the 8 times du dm is 6 plus u times du v dm and now it's all a case of tidying. Every time you do a product rule that has a chain rule in it, you will have that inner function to a certain power. You'll have that as a common factor, because here's a term, plus, and here's another term. So anything that's in common with this term and this term, we're going to factorise out. So we've got 4m plus 3 to the 8, and over here we've got 4m plus 3 to the 7. So 4m plus 3 to the 7 goes into both of those, and we're going to put that out the front. Then we've got 6 here, and actually what I should have done is I should have factored out that 6 again. Possibly I should have left it the way it was, but anyway. So we have a factor of 6 here and a factor of 6 here. So that's going to go out the front as well. And let's see what's left. So, in this first term, the 6 has already gone out to the front, and 7 of the 8 4m plus 3s have gone out the front. So we're still left with one lonely 4m plus 3. Plus, the 6 has gone out the front, we've still got m minus 6, and we've got a 32 times 32, and this 4m plus 3 to the 7, it's already out there, so I've already accounted for that. So let's tidy once more. The 6 is fine, the 4m plus 3 to the 7 is fine, and let's see what we can do in here. 4m plus 3 plus 32 times m is 32m. 32 times 6 is 180 and 12 minus 192. Four m plus 32m is 36m, and 3 minus 192 is minus 189. Now, the first time I did this, I thought we were finished, giving myself a big pat on the back. But what I didn't see was a little sneaky factor of 9 that still is existing in there. So let's take it out. So 6, 4m plus 3 to the 7 times 9, 4m minus 21. The 6 and the 9 go together. Possibly should have put that factor first, but anyway. And then we are done. Unfortunately, no way of checking at this stage of your mathematical career other than checking with the answers, which, if you have a look, exactly right. I hope this video has helped.